So practicing, Dee, we are always going on to our students about practicing. I call it the dirty P word because people are so sick of hearing me telling them to practice. Why is practice so important?
Well, because when you've had a lesson, or even if you haven't had a lesson, you're going to the driving range and you're wanting to gain something. You're wanting to change a motor pattern. You're wanting to change the connections in your brain, and that's what it is. You have to change those connections. You cannot do that if you don't practice. You can visualize it, and that's good, but we live in these physical bodies, so we have to get the body to do the work, and we want to practice so that we're not practicing on the golf course.
That's right, and we say this a lot too, that the pros practice a lot more than they play. The amateur or the average excuse me, or the recreational golfer plays a lot more than they practice, and that's why a pro is so good. And again, you don't have to be as good as a pro, but if you could up your practice, you could improve your game really
100%. And I think the other important thing is, Annie, that when you practice, always have a goal for your practice session. Have it in a book, have it on your iPhone.
What's an example of a goal for your practice?
Well, like, let's just say, this is a funny goal, but let's say you've had a rough day at work. So your goal might be that bloody boss, and you're just going to go down there and smash balls as hard as you can. Well, at least you've got a goal.
I wouldn't recommend that goal.
I know, but it's a goal. You're not going down there uselessly doing whatever. Yeah. But I think I used to have a practice book, and if I hit balls now, I always have a simple goal. It might be that I've given myself a lesson, or our students have had a lesson, and the coach might be wanting them to work on their grip. So you're going to go, okay, my goal is to work on my left-hand grip, and I'm going to do this, and then have a procedure to go through when you're doing that. So like a recipe for practice.
What about if you haven't got a coach and you're not really getting lessons, but you are trying to practice a bit more? What's your goal then when you go out onto the practice?
Probably they're going to listen to all their friends, and that's not a good goal. We don't want that.
Do that.
You know, like, it'd be interesting, these guys here, when they're practicing, most of them I think I've given a lesson to. Oh no, the guy over there I haven't. But so they should have a program that I've given them, and they know what they're doing. To be honest, if you're not getting some sort of coaching, maybe your goal would be just to go and practice your chipping or putting or something like that. But I think it's really, or maybe you've seen something on YouTube, make that your goal. But
would you say if you've not got something to work on, you might even be better not practicing?
Definitely, because I think you're just going to get tired and lazy, you're going to develop faults. If you've got nothing to practice on, why don't you make it as simple as this? I'm going to practice doing a low shot. I know that, or I'm going to practice doing a high shot. I'm going to do a 50-minute, just make it what you might do on the golf course.
Stick to the short game even.
Yeah, stick to the short game.
Okay, so give us a good program.
Let me give you an example of a goal I'm going to set and how I'm going to do it. So let's say I've had a lesson and my coach says that my posture's out and I also need to get more coil. So what I always want to do with my students, I want to give them, just as I know you do, I want to give them a drill they're going to do. So let's say the first thing is I need them to get, because their upper body, I won't hit you any, but their upper body is that they're just doing nothing, you know? It looks a bit like, and they're just doing this. The upper body's not working, maybe the lower body is. So what I'll do is I'll say to them, I want you to do this drill. And most of the lesson is making sure they know how to do the drill. Because you've got to drill to get it into the subconscious. Repetition. So I might say to them, and the number varies, but I might say, and I want you to do 5 of these drills. So we'll make sure you've got the drill. I might even have a club behind her knee if she's doing this, and I'm going to go 1, slowly, feel it, good, stand up, do it again. So I'm going to do 5 of those drills, or whatever number your coach gives you. Then with my golf club, good posture, I'm going to get the same feeling just doing that. And I might do, hold it, 2 of those. Then what I'm going to do is, so I'm quite regimented and I write it out, and then I'm going to have, where I'm going to do 2 swings, no ball. Then I'm going to put the ball down, which I will do here, Annie. Oh, you just go over that way. So what I've done is this. I've done my drill. Thinking, trying. Then I've done a swing back. Thinking, trying, but trying a little less. Then I've had a swing, trying or thinking less. Then when the ball's there, I'm hoping that what I'm going to be able to do is, now I've done it enough, I'm just going to not try and just see if I can just get that feeling of that happening. So there's less thinking going on.
So if we were to generalise a bit more, it would be taking your drills, doing your drills, and then incorporating the drills into some swings.
And yes, and as you get to the ball, there's less thinking or less trying during the motion of the swing. By the time we get to the golf course, we're used to it.
Yeah.
So we're not thinking during the motion of the swing.
Yep. So lots of drills, repetition on drills, taking the drill to the swing, doing it, rotating around that sort of pattern is really good.
And then my next, so that's part one, bulk practice. The next part is I may have 10 golf balls, and there's no consequence, but I want them just to hit 10 shots walking back, going through their routine. If you don't, and you've got a target, and you're kind of wanting to go, oh, let me just hit towards this target. Let's see if I can get 50% in the area I want. But there's no penalty if you don't. There's nothing. Then my last part of it is the competitive part, where I'm going through my routine. I have 5 golf balls and I set a target that 3 of these 5 have to finish on the green. If they don't, sorry, you stay until they do.
Or a target if there's no green out there.
Yeah,
just a target.
A target. But something, it might even be, depending where you're at, it might be is I want 2 balls out of the 5 to get in the air. It doesn't have to be within inches.
Set yourself a goal, because that makes it more interesting.
Set yourself a goal, and most importantly, make it have a consequence, because now you're practicing in a tougher situation.
Putting pressure on.
So when you're out in the golf course, this was hard, golf course is easy. So we want this to be the workstation, this to be challenging, competitive. Out there we just go play, and what will be, will be.
That's great. It gives people a bit of a structure as to how to plan a practice session. And you won't get bored that way. It does help if you have a coach that can help you with some drills and things, but you might be able to take some drills off YouTube, as you were saying earlier. They say your posture's not good, and you can be working on your posture. Do some drills for that, hit some shots, come back around again. So we've got a bit of a structure for our practice.
And we've all got iPhones now as well, so you can video your swing, send it to your coach, or just video it and view it yourself, because you and I want to empower our students to be able to look after themselves. We want them to come to us, but we want to empower them. And I think also, Annie, we must make sure that it's not just, I would suggest to most of my students that I would want you spending a lot of your time on the short game as well. And it's the same thing over there. You do the same procedure, you have a goal.
It's even easier over there because you can play games, and you can say, I've got 5 balls, I'm going to have, I've got to get a certain number in a certain distance, or I'm going to have my putter with me, and I'm going to see how many of the 5 I can do 1 chip and 1 putt with, and then see if you can improve over time. It's more fun anyway.
And I think tick it off too. I don't know about you, but if you have a little goal book or on your phone, I prefer it in a book. Tick it off. That day I did it. Oh, what score did I get? I got 5 out of 10. Good on me. I did great.
Do your personal best. And
beat your personal best, and then keep upping the
And if
level.
you've got a friend who you can play even
better. It's better. Practice with a friend, because then you got a commitment. Oh God, I said to John I was going to be there, so I've got to be there.
It's like having an exercise buddy, isn't it? The golfing practice buddy.
And then you go have a cup of coffee after, or a beer, or a wine, or whatever. Lunch.
We'll organise your social life as well as your golf.
Make golf fun. Make practice fun.
All right, fantastic, Dee.
Hope that helps.
Get out onto the practice area. Your game will improve tenfold.
And if you can't get to the practice fairway, get into your backyard. Get into your kitchen, drills. Do something. You can drill at home. Shower everywhere around the house you can drill.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for all our new videos.
And it's starting to get a bit wet over here, so we're going to stay and practice in the rain because we're dedicated.
I'm not.
Not likely.